From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise Podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. But by us, I really just mean myself, Benji, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music. And no, unfortunately, my two co-hosts are unavailable for this evening, but the show must go on. I may read a few local news stories to kick things off. I'm putting out an invite, so we will see what happens on that front. That's the only information I'll give about that. But so yeah, a couple of news stories. There's really a lot to cover. I wasn't on the last Skip the Noise episode, but this will be more of a, come along for the ride type of a thing. As one does. Sometimes as the producer of this show, I listen to a lot of Skip the Noise, so I take in way more Skip the Noise episodes than your average person, probably the most. And sometimes they just kind of drift in and out through my head. Clips will pop up, or conversations and topics that we covered, predictions that we made that came true, and then sometimes we pointed them out, and sometimes we forgot and didn't even get a chance to point it out. Sometimes we comb through the content, or we have several super fans who will occasionally comb through the content and provide me with information that I didn't even or wasn't aware that existed or forgot that existed. But nonetheless, it's impressive. Think about it as a whole. It's more of a 360-degree experience. I'll play old episodes of Skip the Noise.
What do? We went to the Natural Bridge Caverns, which I suggest for anybody who's out and about.
Mandatory.
It is fucking fun. It's they do something called, have you done this yet, Ben? Have you gotten a chance to get there?
The Natural Bridge?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've actually been multiple times.
Okay.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Did you do the Total Darkness?
Yes, Total Cave Darkness. I have.
Oh my God,
Total Cave Darkness.
About
it's a little scary,
dude. Talk about a complete disassociation, right? They go total dark, and they said you can't. Normally when someone says, "Oh, you can't see the hand in front of your face," you really can't fucking see it.
Yeah. Oh no,
a complete disassociative event. Like you're like if you're left like that, I can see why some people talk about isolation chambers and stuff. But if you're left like in that total darkness for too long, I fucking guarantee you're gonna start having issues with believing you're alive or not. Like, it's intense.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I remember, so the last time I went, and I remember the boat, like, I can't remember if I've been like but basically I've been multiple times. And I remember at that part of the tour, they always, whoever the tour guide is, like you said, they always point that out. And they're very specific about, they say, what you're experiencing now is total cave darkness. That is absence of any light whatsoever. You will not be able to see even the impression of a shadow of a thought of a molecule of your fucking hand an inch from your eyeball.
Fuck,
like,
dude.
There's nothing. Like, there's no light.
Nothing.
It is nothing. So, and then they make that very clear. And then they go on to say, some people say within 30 seconds, you start to see objects. In 1 minute, you start to hear your own fucking voices telling you what a piece of shit you are. And in 30 minutes, you go completely insane.
Oh, bro.
Like they lay it out. Did they do that this time? I just remember
he did it. He didn't go that far. Well, no. So
what a pussy.
With this, no. So he said before, so you probably got the more hardcore version.
Well, this is back a while back.
Well, back in the day, they said they would let people sit in there for 5 minutes in total darkness, which is probably what they did to y'all. They did it for a minute. The 30 seconds for us, bro. I can tell you right now, with the weakness of the current society, if they would have left motherfuckers in there for 5 minutes in total darkness, we would have had like fucking like Lord of the Flies type shit. It would have been we would, like, the lights would have turned back on and like half the people are naked, like rubbing against the rocks. Dude. Like, it would have been madness, dude. It was crazy. It was really a substantial event. Like, people go, "Oh, I've been in dark." No,
this is
unless
dark.
You've been in space or you've been in the bottom of the ocean or in this fucking cavern. You don't know what total black was. Dude.
You didn't cut the lights off in your room, bro.
Yeah,
like,
right?
you're in a total absence of any physical light. It's different.
Fucking madness.
And you know what else? Shit, the way I was gonna say. Oh, it's like when you lay down to go to bed, and it's like that moment you realize, well, maybe I did a little too much edibles and I'm starting to lose the grip on it a little bit. And you're like, fuck, like I don't want to think about that, but I can't. Like I'm on a slippery slope and I'm sliding down the mountain and god damn it, I'm in trouble. And you can't get yourself back and you're like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to sleep now. This is going to take about 4 hours before I feel even 0.5% fucking like a regular human with practical thoughts. You know what I mean? Like you're just so upside down that you're like, fuck, like it's already over. That's kind of where you could head. Like in other words, I could see getting to that point within fucking a few minutes. You'd start to get pretty fucking weird. You know?
Oh, bro. Dude, I'll be honest with you. Just like I told you, like in that 30, 45 seconds, like that was for real. That was a substantial event in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like that was for real. So I highly suggest anybody that gets a chance, head over to your local, if you do have any caverns close to you. In Texas, it was pretty cool. It's called the natural, I forgot the exact name.
Natural Bridge Caverns.
Natural Bridge Caverns, yeah.
It's outside of San Antonio, just a little
highly suggest you check it out. If you want to see your mind blown by a simplistic lack of light, it will happen.
Doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much. And next thing you know, you're fucking questioning your reality. And even if you're there, because it's so fucking dark, it switches your brain into a moment where it's just like, oh, am I dead or do I exist? Or what's happening here? Because it really does happen. And I used to talk shit about, like, you know, some people talk about isolation tanks and stuff like that. No. If you somehow simulate that total darkness and you're floating and you almost to where the point where your body feels like, you know, it's lost, bro, you get ready for some shit, because your life is going to change. Because I could see just in the little amount of time I did, it was crazy. So definitely suggest it. River Rock was great.
Dude, the River Walk, fuck, it's so like great. It's cliche because it's like, San Antonio, you fucking River Walk. But there's a reason it's so popular. Great. It's fucking badass. You might find an Easter egg or two if you sift through that old content. I don't want it to be conceived of as once again, a linear sort of progressive building on, because we cover weekly news and it's current. You know, I'll play old episodes of Skip the Noise. And we're back, Party in the Back underway. And just before we get into the first Party in the Back topic, I just want to gloat for a quick, brief moment. I think it was episode 90 where I laid out a scenario in which I think I'd said something to the effect of, just imagine if Putin was told, and I was half serious, half joking, but I definitely had this thought in mind. What if Putin was told at one point, hey, you've got 6 months to live? And that's what escalated all this shit, right? He's got nothing to lose. He's trying to, if anything, he knows he's going to die. He's going to establish his legacy. He's going to restore the Soviet Union to its former glory. Well, there's actually stories now to varying levels of credibility, let's just say. And in the fog of war, it's tough to know what to believe because the propaganda animal is running amok through your fucking suburban neighborhood and tearing up your shrubs and all kinds of shit. So you don't know what to believe, what's real, what's not. But there was stories that come out that were circulated from some somewhat reputable publications saying that they suspect, they have inside information saying that Putin is indeed terminally ill and his health is declining. Thus, maybe some speculate, they say, hey, his face is puffy, like he's on steroids. He's got some sort of cold. I think what they've, the actual ailment that it's attached to Putin is some sort of like colon cancer or some kind of digestive cancer, right? And so they say his time is limited. And so anyway, I just wanted to I made my own little prediction. I know Mexican Nostradamus has.
Dude, that was good. Yeah, that was a good one. That was
gratifying. In other words, it was gratifying to see that story hit the press. I was just like, go back to episode 90, motherfucker. Blueberry shirt, all it.
When I saw the news article, or the news story, I think it was like CNN or something. They were saying there's a reason why Putin looks so somber, and they show a picture of Putin. He looks exactly like he does in every other picture, but I guess now he's somber. So,
really, yeah, and it's true. Like they paint what they want to paint.
Yeah, exactly.
But he smiled once. He's in 2018. He smiled one time. That's clearly different from what we're seeing now in 2022 as the head of state for the Russian Empire invades the Ukraine. Anyway, but that's you can draw what you want out of that, but nonetheless, it came out in the news. I feel like I take credit. I feel like Scottie Pippen for a second to Mexican Nostradamus's MJ.
What's up?
You know what I mean? I get like my little moment, like that occasional game where Scotty might have had like 35 points and MJ had 31.
Hey, this is one part in the back. Can I give a shout out real quickly?
Yeah, 100%. Shout out,
please.
Oh boy,
I think it was called Dickie's Barbecue.
Yes. Oh, good call.
Thank you they reached out to us after a story last week.
This is real. Fucking thank you for bringing that up. I forgot. So check this out.
Go ahead, Benji.
Yeah,
we get free dicks for life, right?
That's not. I don't think that was the proposal, but what they did do, we in Party in the Back in episode 90. So if you haven't listened, you got to go check that out. We talked about a story right here in our own Harris County, Northeast Harris County, a restaurant employee, Dickie's Barbecue to be exact, was shot because they didn't put enough barbecue sauce in this customer's order. Anyway, long story short, it won't go into more details. You'll just have to go back and get episode 90 to find out. But the next day after the release of this episode, no, actually maybe the same day.
It was the same day.
We were followed on Instagram by Dickie's Barbecue, their official fucking Dickie's Barbecue page. So shout out to Dickie's Barbecue. I think they're based out of California is what I surmise. Yeah. So shout out to them. If you guys want to move here, I'm sure that's probably on the agenda of every Californian at this point. Unless you want to pay $14 for gas in about a month, but nonetheless, thank you, Dickie's Barbecue.
Yeah, thank you for the follow. It was wonderful.
That was dope.
That was.
Man, I'm very surprising. So I do want to know real quick before I turn it. I'm going to step back for a second. I feel like I've been rambling, but for Dickie's Barbecue, I just want to say, if somebody could reach out, I want to know how that connection was made, how that got back to them. That was very curious.
They probably have a really good social media department. You know what I'm saying? They're probably looking for those mentions, especially anybody that has some type of, and with our extensive platform, we reach pretty deep into North Korea, guys. You had to, sometimes we don't, that's true. Sometimes we don't pat our own backs as much as we should, but we're all North Koreans listen to day in, day out.
Well, not only that, but I feel like some of those stats I get from the people with like VPNs and stuff, so it doesn't show their exact location. It just says unknown.
Yeah.
I feel like at least 40 to 45% of those are actually Kremlin insiders. So, we've really got our tentacles into the pulse of the world.
I'd still take the numbers.
That could be a good idea.
I'll take the numbers all fucking day.
Dude, maybe we should all go to North Korea as a delegation and persuade the government that let the people listen to Skip the Noise podcast, because their entertainment is quite limited over there. It's just government propaganda on TV.
It's just us. It's us and Kim Jong-un. That's it.
Kim Jong-un and whatever they play on the radio. Imagine, dude, we could like have a weekly show over there. How much listeners we get? That'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah. We could have Mike Tacklebox remix some North Korean hits.
That'd be so dope. Oh my
God. What is it, that choir music, that choir that sings like patriotic songs?
Right, that's the only music that exists. It's like a stadium,
he screws it like that's pretty dope as shit, dude.
People singing hymnals under gunfire
under gunfire
at gunpoint.
No, they're singing hymnals while they're working like in the work camps, like you just hear the clanking of the chains. Well, nonetheless, big shout out to Dickie's. Good food. Just maybe have your employees trained to give out more barbecue sauce in the city of Houston
maybe not
to avoid fucking problems.
Yeah, if you have a multiple felon that wants one extra packet of barbecue sauce, maybe not be such a dick. Why don't you just give it to him, man?
Yeah, don't be dicks at Dickies.
Does it really? Yeah, just
come on.
Don't be like McDonald's with the fucking ketchup packets.
Right.
Oh, dude, I hate that.
Yeah. Oh, I know, dude. You know who
two
things?
Two packets for a number one. Come on.
Yeah,
you know who hooks
McDonald's
it up?
owns
Whataburger.
the world.
Whataburger hooks it up.
How many do you want? 65? You want 65 spicy ketchups? Motherfucker, take them, all of them.
Oh, they'll bring a fucking they'll bring like a fucking card out with hey. Anyway,
sorry,
so yeah,
continue.
Yeah, like Whataburger just will drop that shit like it's hot. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a shit. So, dude, I got mad love for Whataburger. They don't give a shit. I'd be like, you can say they'll ask how many ketchups. You could literally say, give me 9 pounds of ketchup. They'll figure it out. And they'll just put it in a bag. I mean, I don't know. But so Dickies, take, try to not let any more of your employees get shot. Okay. Yeah. If you're moving to the Houston market, we like fucking lots of barbecue sauce.
Right.
Okay?
So just give a couple, whatever your whatever protocol demands per corporate office, just give them one extra, please.
Yeah, please. Because
the gun violence is already out of control. Let's do our part, okay, Dickies? So
unless you want the T-1000 working at your place, right? Like fucking Terminator and are the fucking that big robot for RoboCop.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Do you remember that thing? Right. That thing was fucking dope. So moving on, this going into the nerd corner.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Very interesting new fucking results from space was just recently. So a planet that's 444 light years away, which is a fucking really far away, is basically developing right now, or was developing 440 years ago, or 440 million. It could be million, guys. So it's basically we're seeing the light of its development, and in that light, we spectroanalyzed that there is an organic compound that's actually part of this planet's makeup, which is leading to speculation that organic compounds are actually made while a planet is being developed. So that planet's already seeded well before life ever shows up, but it has the blocks, which is kind of leading to the thought that life is extremely abundant in the universe because of these organic building blocks are there, even in the planet's synthesis. You know what I'm saying? It's just not what it's more of a question of when life is going to happen, not whether it is or is not. It's just when is it going to happen? Right. You know,
and it could just be that. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, go for it, please.
No, that was a great intro. But so I think what's crazy to think about is, we've got this perception just based on our own backyard, i.e., the solar system. Fucking 9 planets, give or take, right? Depending on who you ask. But out of that, right, that's fucking 1/9 has not only life, but fucking life like a motherfucker on Earth. We got wars going on. Like this shit is all the way going down with life. This isn't like a little water molecule on Mars underneath some 30 goddamn miles of rock. We got some life going on Earth. So 1 out of 9 ain't bad. But how many fucking, astronomical amounts for lack of a better word, of planets. And if like what Ben is saying, it just it's a matter of time, right? Or on a big enough timeline, what if every planet at some point on its timeline had life? It's just a matter of how long it lasted and like what stage of the game it's in, right? It just so happens because 9's not a lot for our immediately observable environment, right? So just because those 8 out of the 9 don't have shit on them, at least that we can observe at this point, doesn't mean that they didn't at one point.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you, like I said, when you flex out the timeline and you're talking about billions of goddamn years, shit, anything goes, man. It could just be that Mercury flamed out, like whatever, like the whatever the evolution was of that planet.
Oh no, Mercury's pretty fucked. I mean, that was right next to the sun.
Okay, maybe bad example.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a little
Mars. I mean, even Mars.
Let's say it's maybe at some
Mars.
point it had
Mars
fucking fire people, right? Or Mars. Maybe Mars had
I love
fire people. Maybe Mars had they exist as a fucking gas. And they're able to sustain 550 fucking degrees Kelvin.
Mercury gets fucking hot.
Anyway, but yeah, Mars, right? What if Mars did? What if 50 trillion years ago it had life?
It's just 100% had life.
Yeah,
Venus too.
So, right. And you're talking about, that's the thing. People don't wrap their head around the fucking math involved. Like you're talking about fucking, I don't even know numbers. Like I don't even know the names of the numbers that they're so big. Does that make sense? It's like billions, you're not going to observe. Sure. Well, it's like there's a bazillion spiders on the fucking earth, but they're not all in your house at one time.
Right. True.
So to you, there's not that many spiders. Like you might see one every couple weeks or whatever during the hot season.
Or even if you take like your numbers from their solar system, right? 1 out of 8 planets.
Yeah.
If you take 1 out,
dude,
sorry, bro.
Kamala Harris, what's up? 9. Your turn.
It's 8 planets. I kept looking at it like this motherfucker keeps saying 9. 1 out of every 8 planets. So that's 12%. Imagine 12% of planets. Like if you take that concept, 12% of planets have life in the universe. I mean, that's a fucking shitload of planets. Like it's a lot. Like we have just in what our observable, like, our galaxy. I mean, there's like 144 million stars.
Yeah.
I mean, if 10% of those have if those have planets and 10% of those planets have life, what I wish people would stop thinking is that life is so unique. Like we got to get out of this heliocentric concept that, we're so special. We're not, right? Because
maybe we are.
We're not, though. It's impossible, right? Occam's razor is always going to play the most realistic thing, is that life is not special in the sense that, I'm not saying that your lives or, I don't want people like jumping off of, Foxconn or something for all of our Chinese listeners. I mean, what I'm saying is that the concept or the probability of life is not like special. It happens everywhere, all the time. Now, what we have done maybe as human beings in this particular region of time and space is what we've accomplished, a pretty cool thing. But, maybe accomplishments of what these civilizations, now, if you make it to a certain point, that's cool. But there's tons of life throughout the universe, like everywhere. We just don't really realize the vast difference, the vast distances, and we can't see shit. But I guarantee you, there's so much life out there. So I just think, to me, it still continues to play into that concept that there's life everywhere. And that,
like the people that are like, well, they would have visited us by now. Like, dude, do you know how hard it is? Do you know how much it takes to get an actual vehicle that can transport a living creature across, you know what I mean? 1 billion light years or whatever the fuck. Like,
yeah, dude,
get
fucking
the fuck
lot of fucking distance. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, light even takes billions of years for something that moves at the speed of light.
444 years just for that one example, right?
Yeah.
That's the amount of time it takes light to travel in a year, 444 fucking times. So that's longer. The three of us together are not even gonna live a fraction of 444 years.
Yeah, you take 444 minus where we are now. Motherfuckers were still riding horses and shit. Like there wasn't like we had a completely different world. So that's the crazy thing. So to me, I think as we move on with the concepts, and I do think that aliens are totally and will it will have they fucking traveled here? I still think so. I'm always gonna think that shit because I just think that somebody got the head start on us. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think we're the first ones. But
dude,
what is not what to me seems like the real most realistic possibility is that, you know, they learn how to fold space and shit. Anyways, I'm not gonna geek out, but in the end, huh?
Yeah.
Going back to your statement, 444 years. So if light from Earth reached a planet 444 light years away,
yeah,
they're barely seeing Spanish conquer like the Americas right now.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. No, really.
They're seeing the glint off of
telescope.
Cortez's spear as he's like decimating populations.
Pretty much.
You know,
it's 1582.
That's it, and that's considering, or that's assuming that they figured out how to use a fucking telescope, even.
Right. I mean,
what if they're dog people? You know, they don't. All dog they do people. Is just roll around in
nice
mud.
They're all like licking each other and like sniffing asses and shit.
Shit, yeah. They got all kinds of variations of breeds, just like we do here on Earth.
Oh, that is so cute.
What happens when we find out that there's life?
Can you imagine a world, an entire planet, a cute ass like toy puppies?
Oh man,
with little jackets and shit and bows.
Jackets.
I would leave. I'd be like,
I love it. Little
cute.
jackets,
fucking cute as shit. Little scarves.
Scarves. Oh my god, where the fuck else are we going, bro? This is awesome though. But imagine though. But check this out. What happens if there's actually life on every single planet in our solar system? We just haven't found it yet.
We just can't find it, right? Because it's.
I mean, what happens if there's fucking life on Mercury? Like, as much as I was giving you shit, what happens if there really is fire people?
Right.
Or some type of bacteria
gases.
A bacteria that can live on that shit.
Yeah, exactly. There's some kind of bacteria or virus that can
fire people
sustain those.
I wouldn't want to catch. I wouldn't want to catch that fucking virus. Could you imagine a virus that can live on on a planet that's like next door to the sun? Imagine catching that cold. You're fucked.
Yeah. You better wear
make COVID look masks. Like a bitch. That thing would grab COVID and rape it for years.
Hey, if that's the case, you got to get triple vax, wear your double mask in the car solo on your way to the clinic to get a COVID test with somebody in a hazmat suit.
Yeah, dude.
You better go to that extent.
Dude,
if you want to survive on Mercury.
It's going to burn the Q-tips. It's going to burn the Q-tip in your nose. It's going to burn it off because the fire people don't give a fuck.
Oh, man.
Imagine fighting a war against the fire people. Now, hold on a second. I like this whole fire people concept. How fucking tits would it be if we found fire people?
I like it. I think it's
I'm fucking liking this, dude. I'm really digging fire people concept. I think it's this is
the only issue with fire people is that to have fire, you'd have to have some sort of like source of energy.
Oxygen. Maybe that's why they're on fire. They're like, they produce oxygen like out their ass, and it catches
what it is?
Fire the whole time.
It's like their whole DNA structure is the flint creating the spark on the lighter, and their atmosphere is pumping in the hairspray to make them blow, like your little homemade blowtorch with the lighter, like in middle school.
That was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Bunch of vandals over here.
Oh,
no, you never did that?
I did. Got the long blew it up. I gave it up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I almost blew that shit up. It was fucking terrifying. The little pop, I was doing it and the fire went back and popped the top off. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I just fucked up.
That happened to me with gasoline.
You know who is a full-fledged pyromaniac?
Who?
Your boy Benji.
Really?
100%. So
really?
my
the guy who came up with fire people as a fire maniac.
Hey,
you would fuck a fire person then. You just
all tied in.
I gotta find out.
Come over here. It's not so hot.
You're a pyro?
His hair's all singed
I was a pyro. Like I was kind of a functional pyro. So shout out to the homie Steve.
That
was like my best friend growing up, like those early years. But yeah, we started hella fire. Like we kept lighters. We collected lighters because we were into fire so much. We hid, like I had this whole setup in our room. I told it on a previous podcast. I talked about we would make our own fireworks. Like we'd somehow during fireworks season acquire a shitload of black hats, and we'd save them. However we could get them, like through friends or whatever, or like you can, because my mom was kind of anti fireworks, so you get them through other people, blah blah blah. So we'd amass like just stacks of fucking 1,000 count black cats. Well, we'd sit there and cut. We'd get like the manila paper you use at school for like, or construction paper because of the consistency. And we'd fold it like a certain way so you could roll it up. We'd cut open like 200 black cats, like just with scissors, and pour all the gunpowder into a pile. Nice. You'd roll it up almost like a joint, and then you'd tape the ends so it was nice and compact. And you'd use the wick from the black cat, like the stack of black cats. You'd use the wick, and you almost have like a little mini like way more power. Yeah, almost like a little stick of dynamite, because it was we'd roll them way bigger than like M80s and shit. And so there was that. We were doing that. We also there was a guy we got in trouble. It was just like 4th or 5th grade. Once again, I think this is another story I told on a really early episode of the podcast. There was this one kid who was I don't know what happened to him, man. He had his path was looking a little dark. I'll be honest. He got caught spray painting fucking pentagrams on people's fences. And it was weird. Boy. Kind of weird. Yeah. Weird kid. But anyway, he was into fire. So we were cool with him. And we also liked metal and shit. And, obnoxiously violent rap music, like Ice-T, Ice-T album, Freedom of Speech. And then also listened to Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, just like all just death to NWA, fucking Megadeth and shit, like nothing positive, just like all fucking Satan and violence. And so anyway, making these bombs. So this kid created, like, he took it a step further. I think he actually procured a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook and essentially made like a pipe bomb out of a Coke can.
Okay.
And yeah, nice. We blew it up. It was like kind of behind my neighborhood. Blew it up. Some people snitched him out because there was like a crowd. It was like a whole event. Yeah, and everybody had to make statements or whatever, and the principal's
Wait, they call the cops?
Yeah, I don't think the cop. I think he might have got some sort of punishment, but I had to actually make a statement. But then also too, we set a house on fire. Well. I'm not even a really human. I just kind of learned how to be a human just for sheer survival. In other words, like, I'm dialed in just enough to be on the surface, like a regular member of society, so I can get a paycheck and I can continue to eat without having to, go out with with handmade tools, right? I'm the beneficiary of thousands of years of industrialized progression to make the conveniences of me being able to put food in my mouth pretty a given. The compromise I make for that is I have to kind of give up some of my actual humanness and my being, right? You have to give a little bit of that up to get the elevated position of just being able to go into your refrigerator and put something into your mouth instead of having to prepare mentally, go out with the other men in your village and stalk a wild creature that could kill you. Because that's what we are essentially as humans. We've just evolved to this level. And I was thinking too about social media, and I had this idea in my head that it's really just a hyper evolving form of communication. Because it's a way that people communicate with each other that's different. Like, if you hear the way young people talk now, it's almost like their online presence is part of the sort of construction blocks that build their sentences, if that makes any sense. Like, for us, it was something it was a side, or like it was something we observed from outside, kind of like TV, something you took in, TV, radio. Like it came in the same it was downloaded into our brain in the same category as like intaking media. That's why we call it social media. It's not really media. It's communication. Like somebody puts something on their story. Okay. And you can pick apart that and what they might present, or maybe the actual type, the text that they put on there itself, plus the picture. All that is a language aimed at getting a certain type of a response. But there's this, in other words, like there's so much more complications to like, oh, well, this person, because I listen to young people talk. I have kids. So I hear them talk with their friends, and they're talking about, oh, this person said this and posted this on their story, but they only put it on the private story, and it was only for like 5 minutes, and this person saw it, and because they saw it, then they showed it to this person. And it's like, what the fuck? It's just a different way of thinking, period. So in other words, my brain kind of lends itself to that because yeah, there's not really a home for it. It goes from place to place, but I stay in order to survive in the way that is probably the easiest for me. Yeah, you have to give a little bit of something up, you gotta endure soul crushing activities. Now, mind you, this sounds like super dark. You don't have to, right? You can break free of that in certain ways. But if I wasn't grounded, see, that's the dichotomy. Part of me seeks that out as a way to ground, my flesh body to be able to keep getting food. When really I'd rather be off somewhere else, but I know inherently that like I have to play the game, right? We all do to some degree. Whether it's to a vast other people, everybody falls somewhere on that spectrum. So, but if I didn't do things very deliberately to ground myself, I'd float off, and who knows, like 10 years could pass by and I'd be like, whoa, what the fuck? Because I get really down to the, you know what I mean? I looking at shit like with a microscope, and then all of a sudden you don't know that 3 people around you staring at you looking into the microscope. You're like, where were those people? I don't know, because I was sitting there staring at whatever the fucking molecules that I was trying to dissect. But sometimes the experience is the people standing around you. I'll play old episodes to skip the noise. Shit, hey-o. When it's like, meanwhile in China, motherfuckers are locked into their 25th story apartments, screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night, begging somebody to just throw them up a bag of goldfish to eat. Like, that's how desperate it is. And we're just like, hey, like, it's, we can go back to normal.
Well, yeah, but there's people who don't like this. That
I don't like
opposed to this.
Why? Have you ever flown? Have you ever flown Spirit? Have you ever flown Spirit Airlines?
No, I got way too much self-respect. I got too much self-respect.
Yeah, you want to wear a mask. Also, I ain't gonna lie, dude. Like, when you're that close, okay, I don't like people that much, right? Sitting next to individuals who breathe on me, I don't want that shit. I kind of wouldn't mind a more sanitized flying experience. Yeah, I personally, I think half these motherfuckers on the airplane are nasty. People take their shoes off. They stick their feet under your chairs. They're fucking like snoring on you, dude. I don't know, bro.
Well, no, you know what I hate? Sorry, you know what I hate about this is that when you got that fat dude who sits next to you, and like your elbow has to touch his like roll of lard, and it's kind of warm. And you're like, oh my god, it's so warm and nasty, but it's kind of warm.
And now you got to breathe his fucking breath again.
But it is warm, and it's a little cold here, and but it is warm. I'd like to kind of nestle into that.
Oh, bro.
Exactly.
Bro. Fucking Rick's fucking digging. I
want to rest my head on his bitch tit.
Oh, fuck off. You dirty motherfuckers. That's why you don't want to wear masks. You motherfuckers want to look into the eyes of the people you cuddle with for warmth.
Hey, but you know what though? I mean, this is real shit. If there's one fucking if there's one place I would still wear a mask, It's on a fucking plane.
Right?
You know what I mean?
My
Like,
God.
that's the one place.
They should hand out masks on airplanes and restrooms, right? Dude, I loved wearing a mask in restrooms.
COVID.
Because you can smell half the shit that people pump out of their
I mean, you can still wear a mask.
If COVID never existed, I'd probably wear a fucking mask on a plane.
I mean, what's next? Do people that are painting don't have to wear masks? I mean, at some point, like, masks are okay, people. Like, I don't want to be sitting next to some fat fuck who's eating fucking garlic chips and fucking drooling and trying to jerk off the porn. God damn it. Give me a fucking barrier against
Does it happen at Spirit Airlines? Come on.
Dirty bastard. It does. It happens on Spirit, Southwest. Fucking dude, there's shit. There's shit. I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm worried about Corona. I'm worried about AIDS. Some of those fuckers are so dirty they can pass AIDS through the air. Have you not seen some of the dirty bastards on a fucking airplane, bro?
You can pass AIDS through the air.
You can with these dirty motherfuckers. You can. No, I guarantee you can catch cancer off some of these motherfucking pricks.
That is being facetious.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
But
all right, guess what? Next time you fly airplane, you're gonna come back and say, man, I got AIDS on the airplane. I told you should wear a mask.
And cancer.
Hey, you know how they said Corona was originated in a Wuhan lab.
Yeah.
AIDS was originated in a Greyhound station.
Exactly. Our Spirit airline restaurant.
Greyhound or Spirit airline restaurant.
And you don't want to wear a mask. I mean, dude, look, I'm all.
You can still wear a mask if you want, though.
Everyone should wear them. No, it should be mandatory. If you're on a plane and your mouth breathing fat ass, you should be fucking wearing a fucking mask, man. Fuck
yeah,
that.
you still could. I mean, you could wear a fucking gas mask if you wanted.
Good, yeah, you want to.
There you go.
Then they should hand them out to people for safety. You should wear a Kim suit so you can protect yourself from the viral aerial AIDS that's on
maybe flying's not for you, right? Maybe maybe you should just get in the car and drive 1,200 miles or wherever the fuck you're gonna go.
Last time I checked, flying was supposed to be for everybody. Now
was back
you're
in the
trying
60s.
to roll things out. You ever see the old school airplanes? They're all fucking nice. Everyone was chilling.
Everyone
they had
smoke.
chairs. They could smoke. Now, guess what? Now you gotta breathe. You gotta breathe some fat.
It was also full of white
breath.
people too in those billboards. So
it's rough.
That's true.
It's rough. I'm not touching that one. But okay.
Hey, you're talking about the billboards from the 60s. I'm telling you what they had in there.
Okay, all right.
You know,
well,
I mean,
maybe
it
the
was
billboards
drawn before the civil rights.
Billboards I saw. Maybe I don't remember those. I don't remember this billboard that was the segregation airplane.
Oh, wow.
But seriously, though.
Segregation airplane.
That sounds like a weird band's name. Segregation airplane. But moving on with that shit. I get it, right? Everyone's over COVID. I feel you, but people, please wear a fucking mask. You guys are dirty. Half you motherfuckers on airplanes like literally get on airplanes and not take showers. You bring on like shitty food. You take off your socks and your feet and you let them like hang off a footrest or go under people's chairs. Like, I think airplanes are the epitome of the shittiness of the humankind. So I think a mask actually improves the experience.
Well, nobody goes under. There's no like hygiene screening.
There should be.
I mean, they check for everything else. If you have like more than 6 ounces of toothpaste.
Yeah, right. Or if you don't have at least 6 ounces of toothpaste, you can't get on the airplane, right?
I like that rule. I like that.
Or if you don't smell like soap, they have a soap and a deodorant smeller. And if you're not wearing either one, you just can't get on the airplane. Yes.
Either that or they strip you right before you get onto that bridge to get onto the fucking plane. Spray with that shit, that high pressure hose.
Like the prison.
And squirt like lye on them.
Like with the powdered soap?
Yep.
Just powder. Yeah, the powder.
It just hits you up. You're like, it's cold. Oh, God, it's cold. It's cold. But guess what? When you get on the airplane, it'd be a much more pleasurable experience because there are some motherfuckers who don't really believe in baths.
I would like that. I would like that. I would like to be sprayed with some water and soap before I get on the airplane. That'd be nice.
I do, man. Kill all the germs. and then put you.
Imagine how fresh you'd feel.
Smack,
exactly.
Smack you with some baby powder and put you in a towel.
Now you motherfuckers are getting what I'm saying. Now see, I'm making believers on both you motherfuckers. You're like, God damn, there are some dirty people on those airplanes. Some people really. Hey, guess what? Like newsflash, America. Some motherfuckers don't really take very many baths and showers.
I know they don't.
And guess what? That's gross. If you're not bathing daily, you're a dirty person.
You know what else they could do?
What?
They could, you know how like they have those cryo places where they freeze you to like negative 135 for like 5 seconds, so you survive,
right?
But then it's good for your joints. Well, what about this? What if before we get on an airplane, they boil your motherfucking ass to like 212 for like 1 second?
I think you die.
Nice.
Just to kill.
You're gonna make it.
Just to kill all the fucking bacteria, and then you can get on the plane and they give you a towel.
No, man, you trying to Hansel and Gretel motherfuckers before they get on an airplane. but yeah, I don't really see the problem wearing mask in like really close up conditions. Like, I don't like people. I mean, I might be slightly like, I may have Asperger's or something, but I really don't fucking like people. So the concept of me being further away from them with some type of barrier, especially on something where I'm like fucking super close, I quite enjoy. Because on top of that, a lot of people's dental hygiene, not up to snuff. Not up
for
to
sure.
snuff.
No, I agree with that.
But a bunch of airlines have said, okay, no more enforcement. TSA may actually, they say there's no more enforcement. But the bigger part of the story, other than a bunch of dirty motherfuckers on airplanes that we've been expounding upon, is the fact that this particular judge in this ruling, if not overturned, could leave a lasting effect into anything that the CDC tries to recommend during a time of disease crisis. Right.
Good, man. They need to be reined in.
Well, right. And so
the last time they intervened, everyone got free rent and everyone lost a lot of landlords lost their businesses.
Right. Well, nonetheless.
So no, that's good.
Good,
fuck
bad,
the CDC.
Good, bad. Okay. That's a little aggressive.
Nah,
but
fuck them.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
No, dude,
twisted.
They have salt. They have kind of helped.
They failed to control COVID. First of all, they failed to control COVID. They took a lot of liberties and letting people stay for free in apartments that they had no business in dealing with. They mandated masks. Okay.
No,
dude. I mean, it's a failure. It's a failure in the bureaucracy right there. CDC needs to be abolished. It is. It is
really.
They serve no function. They serve no function. They made that clear. I used to think they did. I was like everybody. I was a believer in the CDC, but then this shit came around and it proved how really inept they are.
Well, I'm not saying that. I don't think they're like the Cinderella organization, but I definitely think that they serve a purpose. But in regards to
like getting coffee for something?
This court case could be as long as it's not $3 for you. But I think this court case makes it. This is going to be interesting. So just to keep on everyone's radar, kind of see where this court case goes. If it does go to the Supreme Court, which it will, and the CDC investigates the legality of it, we could see some interesting developments on this. So everyone kind of keep your dicks pulled back and see what's going to happen, because this one could actually turn into what may be Rick's wet dream, which is the neutering of the CDC.
Yep.
So but my big worry is it trickles down to the FDA.
Oh, neuter them too.
Nope. Calm down. Calm down, because then guess what? People are going to be taking Electro 5. And having heart attacks and shit, because we do need it, because drug companies, as much as everyone wants to suck their dick now because, they're so great, they came up with this vaccine. Guess what?
They can police themselves.
They don't police themselves. They don't.
They can.
No, they cannot. Besides,
I mean, the drug companies with the right amount of money can buy anything, really. Yeah.
They already have.
FDA doesn't go and police them. They just buy their way out. I mean, if you're someone like Hospira, and you have a bad product, allegedly, all you have to do
is tell the FDA, hey, FDA, you want me to stop production on my product? Go ahead. There's going to be a worldwide shortage of normal saline if you want. That's fine with me. FDA pulls back and says, you don't do that yet. Hold on a second. It's not so bad, right?
Oh, boy.
So anyway, that's what happens. That's
yeah.
All they'll do is just like either lower or raise the standards of whatever the fuck they pass and just manipulate. Like, maybe
exactly.
Just to close before you hit the break, maybe to close this. Here's just a thought I had as you guys were talking. Is like, what?
You mean rambling?
Shit? What exactly? No, dude, I'm about to ramble in middle word, consistent press, or just like blanket press. Like I shove it down and it just it keeps going. With China, right? With all these people locked down. What if this is where they introduce Soylent Green? Where they're just like, this is what you can't get food anymore. You can eat this. The CCP concocted, like it passes all of the standards. It protects you from COVID. Blah 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 blah. What if this is where they issue that shit in like little bags, and it goes to your door,
bro? And anyway, China's prison population disappears.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Imagine that. Oh, where'd they get all this free food from?
Yeah,
food for thought, guys. Food for thought.
Exactly. Anyway, with that being said, we were fucking. I love it. We're reunited again, and we're going all over the fucking place.
So good.
It feels so good. So does the break. Everybody go pee if you need to, or whatever you need to do.
Take a
and
shit.
We will see you. Take a shit if you need to. Get out some of that excess Soylent Green, and we'll see you on the other side. Peace. And we're back, Party in the Back underway. Rick recently sent us an interesting video that was, for the Easter holidays. Even the president got involved and had a little interaction with the Easter Bunny.
And what happened with the Easter Bunny, Rick?
Well, Joe Biden was shaking little kids' hands or whatever the hell he does with little kids at the Easter egg hunt at the White House. And some sneaky son of a bitch reporter decided to get in there and ask some questions about Afghanistan and the pullout and so forth. And he was about to start answering questions about Afghanistan in the middle of this event. And the Easter Bunny came to the rescue and pulled Joe Biden away from the reporter, ushering him down to keep going, keep shaking the kids' hands. Come on. The Easter Bunny came in and helped him out. So our awesome president, who isn't there anymore, he's not cognitively there anymore. He's getting help from the Easter Bunny. That's a point now. So our president of the United States is using the Easter Bunny now for help to get him out of these situations.
I like the possibilities of this.
And this is what, a few days after shaking Air's hand. Air was very happy that the president shook hands with him.
Shit.
Yeah, anyway, it's not looking good for this man, guys. Come on. At some point, the 25th has to be invoked here, and
okay.
I guess Kamala, dude. I mean, Kamala's
okay. One fucking Easter Bunny situation. Now we're gonna vote the 25th. Okay.
It's more than that's just Easter Bunny, man. The man keeps getting lost on stage.
Okay. A little bit of throwing the baby with the bathwater is occurring here, but okay.
It's weird because like more bad like accidents and shit will happen though, just because there's
more guns, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's just more guns, so there's gonna be more people shot by guns. Like so that's not you can't unrationalize that logic because it's like.
But I think that'll be a time lapse thing, though, right? I think that'll happen for a little while, and then once people realize how serious of the consequences, I think it'll go down.
All right, let's go back to a time before guns. All right, before guns were even invented. All right, there were swords and spears and metal. What happened when the Europeans came to the Caribbean islands?
Yeah.
Right.
Fucking, this is the most metal conversation. And fucking metal Vikings and Norways with electric guitar.
You had these conquistadors show up to these Indians' homes, and they won because they didn't have guns, but they had metal spears and swords and shields. So anyway, it just goes back all the way. I mean, whoever has the strongest weapon wins, right?
Exactly.
It's been that's humanity. It's been like that forever.
Well, it's I mean, one of the greatest iconic scenes of sci-fi ever was in 2001: Space Odyssey, where you have the two groups of apes fighting, and then one of them goes, "I got a fucking stick," and beats the other one to death.
Yeah,
that's humanity, folks. And if you don't understand that's the reality of what you are, then you're kind of fucking lost, because that's what you are. Whoever has the biggest stick fucking wins, guys.
Yeah, I think Benji's going in and out.
Dude,
Benji,
I remember watching it. Yeah, my internet's kind of fucked, so I apologize. But
if you carried a gun, your internet would respect you more. Damn.
Yeah, you got to shoot your computer.
Yeah, if you put a gun, you're good now.
Yeah, shoot.
If you shoot your fucking computer, for everything. If you were packing a pistol,
Daddy,
right now,
I skinned my knee. Fucking.
Bro, I'm serious. If you're packing a pistol right now and you showed it to your computer, your internet would just fucking shoot up. It's disrespecting you because you're not armed. Okay? Go get a gun, put it on top of your computer, and I guarantee your fucking internet speed goes out the roof.
My computer, my computer thinks I'm a fucking pussy and it doesn't want to work for me.
That's why you gotta bitch slap it with your gun in hand, man.
Your computer's like, dude, this bitch, I only want to fucking work for motherfuckers that are gangsters, man. Fuck this bitch. Oh my god. That was awesome.
Fuckers got
anyways,
he's only got a fucking 38. Fucking bitch. I ain't
You better have a sad night special before you even turn my fucking me on. Moving on.
Get on half Wi-Fi for that bullshit.
I'll give you half that shit. You got a real gun. Moving on. So of course, staying unfortunately with the gun topic, we see more and more fuck ups with Uvalde. And it's looking pretty bad, guys. Wow. I mean,
every day. Okay,
where do we start? Where do we start?
Let's start with
which one? Oh, go for it.
Oh, let's start with the video that came out with the, what is it, like 3 or 4 dudes with rifles and shields.
Yeah,
just waiting outside that classroom, man.
Yeah,
waiting for this guy to just start popping.
They have ballistic shields, right? So
ballistic shields.
In all reality, these guys are safe
and guns.
Yeah,
and the another thing, we haven't covered this in a few weeks, so we're kind of backtracking on some of the things that have been uncovered. Also, too, I think they figured out that the actual door of the classroom wasn't even fucking locked.
Oh my god,
wasn't locked, right?
So that's true about the janitor coming in to
all the shit with the key and all the bullshit. Like they were trying to find all the key. Bullshit.
Wow,
all bullshit.
Because they established, they were like, well, the door must have been propped open because blah blah blah. Well, apparently, like it wasn't locking correctly, so it was the same shit. Like that's why he was able to get in. Yep. And then there was some kind of malfunction. So like the door that they spent all this time allegedly looking for the fucking key, and like, oh, well, we tested it, and well, they tested it like on some other room for like the master. It's all complicated, but like at the end of the day, they were basically assessing like, oh yeah, the door wasn't even fucking locked.
Yep.
Because they never tried it on the fucking actual door.
Wow.
Let's see. So they had ballistic shields. They had this newest one. Was one of the police officers' wife worked for the school. He kind of one of the police individuals. I don't know which unit he belonged to, whatever. Wife worked at the school. Said, "Man, fuck y'all." Going in, they took his weapon from him.
Really?
Yes.
Damn.
On top of that, timelines are getting mixed up. How long, and I hate to say this, but how much longer do you think it will be until finally, when ballistic reports come back, How long do you think it's going to be till we find out maybe something else happened in that room?
Like?
Let's say, hypothetically, right? We're going to put on tinfoil hats here.
Let's go.
The officers did breach initially, but fucked up. Started firing.
And killed kids.
How much longer till we see that?
Whoa.
Because if you're trying to cover something up as hard as these guys are, I mean, they are really going all in with this cover up. Not they're denying information, they're hiding information, they're hiring lawyers, they're doing all this stuff. What happens if the typical thing that human beings would have done, which was to breach that room, did happen?
And they fired a bunch of kids?
Or maybe they got into a small firefight and maybe they did hurt some kids. Or there's so many possibilities now, guys, because these guys are lying about everything.
Yeah, but if that would have happened, at least I would have shown some sort of good faith effort to stop this. Yeah, there's going to be friendly fire. Yeah, you don't expect to have a firefight with children involved, but it's going to happen. And at least that would have made them seem a little bit heroic, a little bit of goodwill.
Unless they fired into the wrong room. Dude,
maybe.
The Uvalde
everything's up for grabs.
Right. The Uvalde Police Department, unfortunately, is so inept. Right? They fucked up on every single level of this, and they have lied consistently. And then you throw in, DPS. There's so many lies going on right now. There's so much cover up. Body cams have not been released.
They're fighting it tooth and nail for it to not get.
Exactly. Body cams have not been released. A lot of information still to play in this. Who knows what the fuck happened, guys? But I'll tell you one thing. This shit, I don't think it's just because they were scared. I think somebody fucked up bad beyond just normal ineptness. And it's getting kind of freaky, right? It's something weird. So it just keeps getting worse. Information keeps getting lost. Arredondo tried to, I guess they just put him on a leave of absence. He's been suspended. They're not answering questions. They're having closed door meetings. It's a big fuck up. And go ahead and mention this because at least they did do something right. They will be demolishing the school.
Yeah.
So no children will have to ever attend school there ever again with that horror that occurred. So that school has been demolished.
All right, but it is very shady. Do you think that DPS or the feds might cover up for these cops?
I don't think the feds will. Feds don't have any. No. The feds, that's their game. They want to find that problem. I don't think the feds would cover for that shit. I think the feds are usually on level. And I even think so much for, what I'm surprised is we don't see more involvement from the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
We don't hear their names being brought up a lot in this. State level DPS is there. Those are the guys that, and if you got to have respect, not that I respect what they did, earlier in Texas history, but overall, man, you shot a lot of Mexicans, but but for the most part, when they're brought in, they're pretty hardcore, right? They do a very thorough job, and they're about as good of a unit in regards to, investigations as anyone could say. And, that's a lot for someone that, they do their job thoroughly. So you don't hear them talking a lot, in this situation. So I just think there's a lot going on in this, guys. Something really bad happened.
So you think there's more than just cowardice going on here? They went the cowardice route because that was the best route.
Well, okay. Let's say you fucked up. Ballistic reports is going to tell you who did what. Let's say you fucked up. Let's say there was a fuck up, and maybe that's why they stayed outside the room, because they fucked up so bad when they first went in. They're waiting. I'm saying a mistake was made. Multiple mistakes on.
They didn't know what to do.
Exactly.
They couldn't let the parents come in.
Yep. And you have other police officers rushing the scene. wanting to come in, but they took their guns away.
Yeah, you had parents who wanted to rush the scene too. They were being arrested.
Exactly.
So everyone's instinct was to go in there and start, put an end to this shit. But these guys wait outside. They go, It's counterintuitive.
Something doesn't make sense. Something's not adding up here. The multiple level of fuckness, the multiple level of ineptness, something doesn't make sense here. And I'm not, and I can't, and I don't know what it is. Maybe they are just that much of, cowards, or maybe something else is happening, but something here doesn't make any sense because we're going on a couple of weeks now that this has occurred. And the information keeps flipping lies that they've told. So I don't know. Something funky is going on, guys. I don't know what it is. I'm not 100% sure, but we do see the mounting evidence that Uvalde Police Department fucked up royally.
Oh,
I mean,
about as bad as you could possibly fuck up.
I mean, it's so much so that today there was a hearing in front of the Texas State, I believe, Senate, and 6 police chiefs from different places in Texas basically all stated that law enforcement failed, that the law enforcement in Uvalde, Texas failed their community.
Yeah.
Like the consensus is that this was a total fuck up. So
well, they finally removed Arredondo.
Yeah.
Here he's suspended. I don't know.
I think he was suspended or something like that.
But he's
administrative leave. Administrative leave.
Right.
You mean like paid leave or you got a vacation?
Well, I'm sure he's getting probably.
Fuck up.
You can chill.
No, anyways. So
so
you see that
chill,
happen.
dude. If you really talk to him, cool.
No, so you see that happen, but moving on.
We'll see what happens, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this thing.
Well, I can guarantee you a few things is that we haven't seen. It's gonna keep getting even crazier, right? Like more. I feel like they keep peeling back the layers to find out. Like Ben said, it might not be exactly what Ben said, but I think the fact that you are open to those possibilities, that's the whole thing of this now. Like, what really fucking happened? Because A, nothing makes sense. B, they're lying about everything. So once you put it into that, realm, anything's fucking possible, really.
You're getting lawyers.
Well,
or at least you're open to scrutiny for any possibility at this point, because so many lies have been told. Like, what is the truth?
Right.
Now?
Right. But also at the same time, what is your natural inclination as a human being when you see children in pain?
Go in there and
help.
I mean, how many times have you been somewhere and you saw someone acting like an asshole to their own kid and like beyond the normal yelling, and you kind of look at them like, "Hey, motherfucker, like that's a kid."
Yeah.
That's just that's a natural inclination we have as human beings to see somebody thwarting that or avoiding that natural responsibility. You just got to wonder what the fuck was really happening. So I don't know. Something happened. I think it's worse. I think it's worse than what we're being told, and I think the lies are continuing. But
they're definitely trying to protect something.
Yeah.
You know what I agree. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So anyway,
and just like the FDA is trying to protect individuals from Juul e-cigs. So for all you vapors out there that use Juul e-cigarettes, they are now officially illegal. And you know why they're illegal?
Because of the patriarchy and the cigarette lobby is paying a lot of money to get them banned. Is that why?
Part of it. No,
all right, cool.
So the FDA has been since 2020 been asking them to produce some just some basic things, and they just blew them off. So now today, officially, Juul e-cigarettes, our vape cigarettes, are now officially illegal and cannot be sold. I'm not saying all e-cigarettes. Plenty of e-cigarettes are still going to be sold everywhere, but Juul, the particular brand, Juul e-cigarettes, will no longer be allowed.
They were pretty big, man. You would see them in the grocery stores all the time.
Yeah, they're huge. They're a huge brand. That's a lot of money.
They're like one of the. I don't vape. I don't know anything about that whole like fucking movement, but I do know the name Juul, and I know that was. I feel like that name was interchangeable, kind of like the way Kleenex.
You mean like the singer Juul?
Yeah.
Away your soul.
Yeah. We will save your soul. Put on my PJ. Okay.
Put on your PJs.
Start buzzing back the whole catalog. So Jewel the singer is now illegal in the United States. No,
listen to that shit.
Good.
That
man.
was
That
your
was about
last
time.
my little rendition there was the last you'll ever hear her, because it's illegal now.
It is. You know what? We're on the cutting edge here, STN. We push it to the limit. If we sing anything else of Jewel, we might be arrested. So
that's right. We're pushing that legislation. We're creating our own. Rick, bang the gavel or slap your dick on the fucking table. That means there.
See, dude,
damn,
I got man,
I got a little lightheaded.
All right, I gotta zip it back in there. Hold on a second.
Oh boy, he's gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. It takes him a while to get it back in there. I mean, this is what he just did was a labor of love for you and for all the audience, because to put it back into his pants requires contortion. A lot of work. He may just go naked the rest of the night just so you guys could hear how thick that piece of lead is.
So yeah, if Rick is at half charge for the rest of the episode, sorry I made him do that.
You're just gonna hear him go. Nah, nah. We're gonna be like, so Rick, what do you think about the Constitution? What do you think about the Republican Party? Because he doesn't have any blood in his brain. So sometimes we just, the sacrifice he's willing to do for entertainment, and Rick is sacrificing it so he can, keep that python moving. But one thing I did think that was kind of funny was the Supreme Court. Of course, the Supreme Court's the big news this week with all their rulings. One of the things I did find kind of funny was a meme I sent you guys regarding the Supreme Court ruled that basically there's a provision to prevent religious schools from getting state vouchers. Because, if you don't want to go to the public school that your child, or you don't want your child to go to the public school they're allowed to go, some states allow you to use a voucher that you can use at another thing, i.e. charter schools are they're really charter school, like public-private schools. Well, the Supreme Court ruled that it's okay for that school to be a religious affiliated school. Okay. Well, funny part is, and a lot of people don't realize, is that the schools that one of the biggest schools that was lobbying to do this were, and there's nothing wrong with this, right? There's still religious schools. Were Islamic schools.
Oh my God.
Like, no. I mean, one of the biggest people donating money to American politicians were Islamic schools and associations so that they can get the state funding to fund their schools. It's pretty funny. And upon finding this out, several U.S. Congress people go, when confronted with this, we're like, oh, whoa, we really meant this just for the religion of the founding fathers. This other stuff's not supposed to happen.
That's right.
But
he opened it up.
The meme shows basically a woman in a it wasn't like a burqa, it was a hijab saying thank you for helping me open this school. That's an interesting concept, right? Because now, as much as the religious right wants to try to dominate and act like these things are for Christianity, everything they're doing can easily be flipped for any other religion. I mean, from Satan, the Satanic Temple could open up a religious school, right?
That'd be so dope.
I mean, Ben's cult can open school.
Yeah, I can open my own elementary schools. How about that, America? Ready?
Right? I mean, could you imagine this shit?
So, School of Rock, huh? Because good vouchers too.
School of Rock cock. Actually, that's what it would be.
Yeah,
I like this law, man. There's a lot of cool possibilities here.
Exactly, but people are like, all these people are like, oh no, it's gonna go to like, the Our Lady of Harvest Christian Academy, but really, it's gonna go to the Satanic Temple.
It could be whatever. And it can well, that's the thing. When you open it up like this with the just kind of in general, right? With the not specific this law in particular, but just like charter schools, right? I know Rick's a big proponent. But which you can open up a charter school that performs amazingly, right? They could really be doing it right. But here's the thing, what you end up getting, the way the money and the runs through like fucking the veins and capillaries of the political system, and laws get made, you're going to end up having these like special interest fucking academies for education that pump it. No, listen, what if you have the Amazon elementary school and it's like, you know what I mean? Bezos was just a humble little boy in a little computer room selling books on the internet. And now he's your king and savior and Lord. You know what I mean? Like, that's how fucked up it could possibly. And I'm obviously exaggerating, taking it to extreme, but like, that's where that slippery slope could easily, you know what I mean? Or like Zuckerberg opens up the Meta fucking schools and they're like,
oh God.
He's awkward on camera, but he's a fucking genius. He's doing interviews in Harvard with a little red Solo cup. Like, yeah, when we started Facebook at the fucking frat party, that whole vibe, dude, that whole vibe made me want to vomit. I saw this interview with Zuckerberg from like after Facebook just blew up. And he's all kicking it in some like shitty apartment with cigarette stains, like with a red Solo cup. Like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. I just started a fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I hate anyway.
Yeah.
Just kind of, obligatory Zuckerberg shitting that we haven't done in a while. But anyway, LeBron
James is in school, right? And I'm pretty sure history in those LeBron James schools, like the greatest basketball player of all time.
Chairman Mao.
And Chairman Mao.
It's like some fucking like deep communist fucking
wouldn't that be dope?
Propaganda school, but they're fucking, they can hoop. Like they have
they have like fucking like all tattoos of like fucking like the hammer and sickle, but they're fucking like 360 dunking from like the half court.
Yeah.
They're all like Steph Curry, like type shots and shit.
Oh no shit, dude. It's
dude,
like
that'd be dope. And then every time they fucking like, every time they like hit a point, they throw up like the hammer and sickle and they start like telling everyone, you can do this too. We're all part of the same thing.
Dude, they're all like 6'9" urban kids that speak like perfect Mandarin.
That'd be fucking.
You know what I mean? By like,
yo, dude, I know exactly what you mean.
Like that's the NBA in 2050.
Oh, fuck, dude, it's happening. It's fucking happening.
Yeah, it's still 95% African American, but they all speak perfect fucking Mandarin.
They're gonna be like fucking Cena. Remember when Cena?
Oh God, John Cena. His accent got real quick. Did Cena become fucking
like, shit.
What was the accent? Was flawless.
It was beautiful. It was almost beautiful. It sounded like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type shit. I was like, oh my God, bro.
You know what?
I respect you so much more, despite you selling out to a foreign power. Like you, like, and he had inflection in his tone. It was almost like, ooh, she sure. Like it was almost like, I'm so sorry, I fucked up so badly. Please forgive me. And you can tell he had inflection. So you're like, wow.
Even amazing. More, I'll take it a step further. What actually blew my mind, I even respected him more because I was like, oh no. That's what it seems like, is that he's just kind of a sellout. No. What really happened there? John Cena is actually a Chinese national, and they raised him in some weird camp to be American. So he's actually Chinese first. And they took him, like, you know, those movies where like the Russian spies came over and they knew how to be American all perfectly from like a small town in Kansas, but it was really in Siberia.
Yeah, that's
like
dope.
This fake town. You remember that movie?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. 100%.
You forgot about that movie until
I did until you just said it. I was like, fuck yeah, I know that fucking movie.
That's what John Cena grew up in. He grew up in this like a little American town, and
he's
like
in the middle of China. He's a sleeper cell, bro. He's a
and he did all that. You can't see me. Like he did all that. He brought that. That's why it's like awkward. That's why like it's like an AI was trying to be urban.
Oh, I get it.
So it's like it kind of misses the mark, but it's close enough that we're like, oh, haha, that's kind of cute, John Cena. I like that shit. Your big tank tops and your you know what I mean? Your
sideways
goofy
hat,
right? But it's all goofy. So like he get it. I like.
How do we miss these things? How do I miss this context?
How did y'all never
bro?
see that shit? How did y'all never see that?
Brought
shit?
Together. I love it. I fucking love it. So what's up?
Who is John Cena gonna lose from having China hate him? I still don't.
Remember because China is.
It's probably 75% of his check.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Remember, China.
What does he do over there?
Big. No. It's WWE. Wrestling is massive in China.
Really?
Massive.
American wrestling.
Yes, everything American's massive in fucking China. Basketball, American football, Disney. Yeah, right. Everything is massive in China. I mean, you know what? One of the number one selling brands for cars in China is?
What is it? Ford?
Dodge.
Fucking Buick. Nobody drives Buicks here, right? We laugh at fucking Buicks. It's like fucking Buick. You're like either a geriatric or you need are the only reason you buy it because it has a diaper changer located on your seat, right? But in China, they buy Buicks like they're fucking hotcakes.
Yeah, dude, but their seats are so comfortable, you know?
Dude, I like that.
Yeah, dude.
That's why people fall asleep on them.
They have the hemorrhoids, like the hemorrhoid
seats.
Support.
Yeah,
that's it.
Hey, hold on 1 second. Shout out to Buick Rivieras. I have there's like boner? I can't express the level of I have like a nostalgia boner over plain ass like blend in with the concrete gray Buick Riviera. Dude, that's just the first car that I really respected. It was my grandpa's car.
Yeah.
That that's the first car I remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel
I hope those are the shit in China.
I don't have this emotional connection with Buick, so I can say Buick. I can say Buick, go fuck yourself because you made shitty product. The last fucking thing you made that was good was the Grand National, which was a fucking straight turbo 6 that was a goddamn beast. But after that, dog shit. Dog shit. But nonetheless, so yeah, there's just a lot of that. So like China fucking digs everything American, man. So fucking WWE, huge over there. NBA, massive over there.
NBA is what you know why the NBA. I've got my eyes on that, but I'm like, hey, I got to do, you know what I mean? I got to pay the man, so I got to eat my broccoli. You know, I always save like the most desirable part last. So I I do the squats first. That's like the most painful. So I'll sit there and do like the body weight squats or the burpees or like the frog jumps back and forth in my garage. Then I get to do the fun stuff. You know what I mean? The push-ups, the chin-ups, and then the run. Because that's, for me, like people look at running as like, they hate running. For me, that's the reward, is that I get to go run in the neighborhood. It's all damp and dark, like 4 something in the morning. But it's so fucking quiet. And I hit that feeder road because I live right by the freeway, even though it's in a like residential, but it's like still just like a block from the freeway. So I hit a lake, like I come around. It's a little man-made lake, but you still kind of pick up that water. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, you sit by the ocean. There's like degrees of that too, right? So you can't, it's one thing to sit there and listen to the vastness of the ocean sort of roll in there. And then you're out there too on a beautiful day, like bang, there's a connection you make that's why people are drawn to the beach. That's why people build fucking $1 million condos right next to the fucking beach. Cause there's an energy there that they want, you know, obviously. So, you know, like the off-brand version, or like the lowest, or you can get that in just a little microdose by hitting that grass on the man-made lake. That's what I'm trying to say. When it's dark and the reflection comes off of it. But then I also kind of hit that wet pavement, because that pavement is part of the biological history too, of like my personal experiences. So I hit the pavement, then I come down and I go around, I go through like the back alleys between like a storage spot and a hotel. Not like a fancy hotel, but it's kind of whatever pop-up hotel that's in the back of a parking lot behind like a vape shop. And then I'll hit that feeder and I can hear all the traffic. And then there's even the train tracks by. So sometimes you get all the full combinations of the train coming, boom. And then that's right under the freeway is where I hit that little spot where I break onto the other side of I think it's like private property. It's some ranch, but you have access to it because there's sort of this unclaimed sort of, runway. It's kind of like utility roads. And so that's sometimes I'll go on like little runs over there. Anyway, I don't even remember what I started with, but let's get into some